friends, on Sports 56. Here is your host, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Wolo.
Welcome in to Wolo and Friends. Landon Schmidt here with you for the last day of the week on this phenomenal Friday. What did we establish that was? Alliteration? I don't know. I need Big Ron to give me an English lesson again. I'm pretty sure it's alliteration. I think that's what we talked about.
He called and corrected our English.
Yeah, I guess we got to go back to school according to Big Ron. But a phenomenal Friday indeed. A lot is happening in the sports world. And last night, or I should say yesterday evening, we had the first of the, the quarterfinal round of the World Cup as France took on Morocco. It was a great game in the first half of play. And I would say if there was going to be a man of the match based on the first half of play alone, that it would go to Bono. Bono was the goalkeeper for Morocco, who had some incredible saves right off the bat, actually preventing Mbappe from scoring for a while. But after the second half, or the first half had concluded, everybody came back out. Just before the 60th minute, Mbappe would do Kylian Mbappe things, and he would bury a beautiful goal. Darren, I don't know if you saw that goal, but man,
saw every minute of that, sir.
Oh my goodness, it was beautiful. You couldn't have drawn it any better. I mean, for a guy who is on top of his game, being a goalie, and you know my stance on goalie, I went all throughout the respect I have for people who play goalie, how difficult of a position that is to master, to hone in, just all of the flowers in the world to people who play goalie on a regular basis. But for him, that was about as impossible of a goal to defend as you possibly could ever draw up. I mean, just right out of reach. He made the right read, he made the right dive, but just Kylian Mbappe way too good. Made a beautiful goal to get France to go up 1-0. And that would also be his 20th career World Cup goal. And he is in some elite company, as he is now only one behind Lionel Messi, who has a total of 21 goals. And the big difference is that Kylian Mbappe is only 27 years old. He has a bright and a very long future ahead of him. So that all-time scoring goal list is definitely going to be his, because how old did we say Messi was? 39? I believe we said he was 39.
Yes, 39, I believe, for him, and 41 for Ronaldo.
That's right. Ronaldo was 41, or is 41, not was. He's still with us. Yeah, he hasn't. You
hadn't killed anybody in a while, though.
No, I haven't. I have not killed anyone, and I don't plan to do that in my life ever, because that is a sin. But it would be after that, after Kylian Mbappe would bury that goal, just about 6 minutes later, France would bury yet another one, putting France up 2-0 in that game, and that would basically seal the game. So now France awaits the winner of the game that's happening this afternoon between Spain and Belgium. And a great tidbit, Darian, that you had was that Spain has yet to allow a goal on themselves this entire World Cup, which is very impressive to do. Will they continue to do so? I don't know, because I believe Belgium and USA was not exactly a good sample of how good or how bad Belgium is, because I think USA just played a really bad game.
I think they put a battery pack also into Belgium. Some of the reports
I think so
after the Team USA loss was Belgium looks like an older version of themselves, but still a dominant version of themselves.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. So I guess we'll see what kind of Belgium team comes out, if they're still going to be fired up like they were against Team USA.
Aren't you sad though that Team USA? This was supposed to be Team USA Friday. I have no plans now.
Was it?
Yes, they were supposed to play today. Had they won, I have no plans today.
Well, yes, if they won, but I just don't.
I planned my life around FIFA, and I was hoping to get to at least the semis. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know. I think you might have set the bar a little bit too high.
I did. I mean, it was on U.S. soil, and I don't take it back. I think we totally overhyped them, us novices, because none of us watch soccer all year round.
No,
so let's just say we put the pressure on them because we were the home team. We really, really wanted it, but we weren't good enough.
Yeah, this is the one time in 4 years that soccer really matters to Americans. And so we'll have to wait 4 more years.
Good showings, I guess, all around, right? Because Canada did some things that they hadn't done before. Well, Mexico got to the spot. Mexico and USA got to the spots where we always plateau. So this
was a very memorable World Cup. The very first game for this Canadian team.
Look at us eulogizing the countries.
I know. We got to give a shout out to the continent of North America. You know, we got to give flowers where flowers are due. But the first game, and this is all just from memory, so sorry if I get any of this wrong, but Canada in their first game, when I can't remember who they played, but they won 6-0. And that was the most goals that they had scored in World Cup history in, what was it, like their 40 or something years in the World Cup. They had shattered their old record. I believe they only scored like a total of maybe like three total goals in their history of World Cup, and they doubled that number in just one game. Mexico, for the first time ever, won 3 straight games in the World Cup. Of course, you're talking about the last time they played. Coming into this year, they went 3-0, and then actually continued to go 3-0 this year. So a 4-game win streak for Mexico, never been done in their World Cup history. Then eventually they come up short, and losing. What round did they lose? They lost pretty early. Let's see. Mexico lost to Ecuador. No. They beat Ecuador, and then Mexico lost by 1 to England. They lost by 1 to England. As now tomorrow, Norway will play England, and then Argentina and Switzerland will also play tomorrow. So we have a doubleheader tomorrow in the World Cup. But you look at just every single day, it seemed that history was being made to some degree for all of these teams in the World Cup, and it has been really, really interesting and a lot of fun to watch as well. Top goals scorers this year, both of them also lead in all-time career goals in the World Cup. Is Kylian Mbappe and Lionel Messi. They both have 8 goals apiece, and then Erling Haaland is going to be looking to add to that as well, as he has 7, and they play, what did I just say, tomorrow at 4 o'clock against England. There's going to be a lot of good games, a lot of interesting games out there, but definitely keep your eyes peeled for the World Cup, because even though Team USA is not in it, there's still a lot of good competition and still a lot of good games happening on the pitch there. Some interesting news coming out in the NFL before we take a look at the Scottish Open and the big news that's happening in that world of stuff. DeAndre Hopkins has just revealed, I learned that he's on LinkedIn. I didn't know if you knew that, but he's on
quite a few people. LeBron and Kevin Durant are too.
I don't know why.
I don't know why.
We all know their jobs. We all know what they're doing. But this is the reason that DeAndre Hopkins is on there. He just revealed that on LinkedIn that he takes finance classes at Clemson during the offseason to better understand how to manage his wealth.
Understandable.
Yeah, because he has seen a lot of his friends get a lot of money and then squander it and lose it based on people that they trust, falsely so, and just being cavalier with their finances.
And you said Hopkins, right? DeAndre Hopkins.
Oh, yeah, D-Hop.
I can take a pretty good guess because he's an older player. So do you know the story about his mom being blind and whatnot?
Yes.
So that's the reason he really didn't stay.
On him. He's a former Titans wide receiver.
Yeah, so he didn't stay in college all 4 years. He really was one of those guys who utilized the sport to take care of their family. So I don't believe he feels like he probably had the financial education when he was younger. I think this is him just trying to build the wealth for his generations to come.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, and I think it's a
shout out to him for it.
Yeah, it's a really smart move, and I actually did some research on it too. That Clemson University's finance classes are highly regarded, and they offer this is how they described it. So they're kind of patting themselves on the back here.
In the newsroom, we use allegedly.
Allegedly, this is how it is. They're highly regarded, offering robust hands-on learning. The Wilbur O. and Ann Powers, I love that name. Ann Powers College of Business ranks as number 1 in business schools in South Carolina and among top 40 nationally. The curriculum offers you to specialize in corporate finance, financial planning, investment and banking, or real estate. So, of all the places he could have gone to, of course, he wants to go back home to Clemson. But hey, I think if you're looking at renowned colleges across the nation for finances, I think you're looking in a pretty good spot at the University of Clemson. So shout out to DeAndre Hopkins for making that decision, and hopefully a lot of people follow suit to his advice. I mean, it's not only him. There's a lot of people who follow that advice too. Marshawn Lynch, for example, is the one who in his interviews, he doesn't say much, but when he talks about his finances, he says, take care of your finances. Of course, I can't say it like him because ain't nobody like Marshawn Lynch's hip.
Not sure if it's true or not. I read a post where it says during his playing career, he never spent a dime of his playing money. All of his money came from endorses that he spent.
I can believe that.
From Marshawn.
I can believe that 1,000,000%. I believe that because that's just Marshawn. I don't think anybody really knows what's going on besides him going beast mode on the field. I
can get behind Landon Powers too, though.
Landon Powers would be I don't think that would be a business school or anything. I don't know what kind of school that would be.
Austin, Landon, I mean, hey.
Basically the same thing, right? I think it's the same thing. Over in the Scottish Open has a really interesting leaderboard right now. Tied for first, Rory McIlroy, 9 under par to start the day. Now, here's the thing that you got to be cautious with about
He won't
Rory.
finish in the top 10.
He does not finish very well. I was saying this yesterday. When it comes to Rory McIlroy and the way he plays golf, if he gets out the gate and he does great, then he says, you know what? I won the Masters earlier this year. I think I'm good. I don't need to win anything else. As long as I keep winning the Masters, I think Rory's going to be A-okay. So he's there, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he stays up near the top for the remainder of the tournament, but I do not foresee him winning this thing. You know who he's tied with right now?
Is it someone with another green jacket?
No.
Okay.
Jordan Smith from England. It's look, it just overall, this is something that I was talking to Ted Butler about on Monday. Is there are a lot of names on the top of this list. They are names that you don't typically hear. Jordan Smith being one of them. You've heard of Michael Thorbjornsen. He's been around, but not T3 at the Scottish Open. Not that frequently, not that well known. And then here is my man, Nikolai von Dellingshausen. Got anything on him? I'll answer for you. No, you don't. You don't have anything on him. This German dude is now 7 under par and tied for 5th. Where on earth are these people coming from on the PGA this year? I have no idea. Then Tom Kim, he made a good run in the U.S. Open. Kurt Kitayama's up there as well. Danny Willett. What do you have on Danny Willett? I'll answer for you. You don't. You don't have anything on Danny Willett. You know who's right behind him? Carl Phillips. Now, I have heard of Carl Phillips before from Australia, but you don't have much on him. Chris Gotterup, defending champ, is still in the mix, 6 under. How about after him? Darius Van Driel.
What you got on him?
Nothing. You ain't got nothing on this guy. I mean, where are all of these people coming from? Dude, we have an Italian up here. Guido Migliozzi from Italy. 5 under par, T12. Look at this leaderboard. And the beautiful thing about it being the Scottish Open is that all of these guys are done for the day, which means their positions are locked in. Let's go down a little bit further. Who on earth is Joost Luiten? Or Joost Luiten. All I know is that he is from the Netherlands.
He's rolling then. Woo.
No, that's
the Neds.
That's Norway.
Oh, Norway, my bad.
Norway rose.
What I got on that? Nothing.
Not the Netherlands. You want to know who's right behind him? Victor Perez from France. How about after him? Sujarjan Maraju, a Canadian. I mean, look, the list of these people is insane right now. I haven't heard of half of these guys. This is incredible. I am all over this right now. But let's now go to the projected cut line, because there's some big names of people who are looking and in danger of not making the cut this year. The biggest name is Scotty Scheffler, who in 78 total events has not missed a cut. And this will be the first time in 78 tournaments that Scotty Scheffler will not make the cut, because the cut line is sitting right now at 2 under, and he finished at even par for the day. That's not a great showing for the number one golfer in the world.
Who has committed to Memphis, by the way?
Who?
Scotty. Scotty will be in Memphis, the tournament.
All right. Well, honestly, great move for him. He needs to be, because he needs to win some. He only has one tournament win this year. That's not exactly good. My cousin Matthias Schmid, he's 1 under. Unfortunately, I don't think he'll make the cut as well. Neither will JJ Spawn, nor will Tyrrell Hatton. Let's see, Ludwig Aubert not making the cut. Harris English not making the cut. Sepp Straka. Let's see if there's any other big names. This is actually really bad for me. You know who all I have selected for to win or to compete in this Scottish Open?
Who you got?
Xander Schauffele.
Like Xander.
Well, no, you don't. He's 1 over.
Not just as a whole. I like Xander, though.
He's 1 over. Will not make the cut. That's not good, because you know who my shock pick was?
Who's it?
He's a Norway guy, Christoph Reiten, who somehow is doing worse. He's 2 over par. Both of my golfers did not make the cut for the U.S. Open. Or the Scottish Open. My bad. Scottish Open.
So I went back to that. Speaking of Scotty, Scotty has committed to the TPC here in Memphis, August 12th through the 16th.
Good. That is really good. I'm very glad to hear that he will be doing that.
Oh, you got a texter. Texter says Danny Willett won a Masters, sir.
Danny Willett?
That's from one of your texters. Yeah, let's check that out.
What year? Because this had to have been before I started following golf. It was probably like in the mid-2000s or something, or early 2010s. When did Danny Willett win a Masters? Man,
you are correct. Shout out to the texter. 2016.
Yeah.
I would not have thought Danny Willett. Wow, you're talking about a name April amongst 10th, big names.
April 10th, 2016. Yeah, well, let's be honest, people. I was in high school and I was not following golf.
Man shot a bogey-free final round. I mean, he really won it.
He did.
And the people he beat, obviously great golfers, Jordan Spieth and Lee Westwood.
Yeah, I'm reading the exact same thing that you just
First time an Englishman won it since Sir Nick Faldo.
Okay, so here's a big question. What has Danny Willett done since?
Oh, Texter, here you come. He's coming for your boy, Texter. You're going to get a text back that says leave Danny Willett alone. Go right ahead.
No, please tell me, inform me.
You're choosing violence this morning. This Texter just enlightened you, and now you want to discredit.
I just want to figure out what is going on here. Let's see. In 2012, he won the BMW. 2015, he won the Omega European
You said after
Masters.
16, but give me the history. I'm with you.
Yeah, no. I'm just looking at his
history. I'm waiting on after 16.
I'm just looking at his history. Oh, so after 2016, he won the DP World Tour Championship in 2018 and the BMW PGA Championship at Wentworth in 2019.
Okay, so there's a ton of golfers that have 0 wins since then. So he has a Master plus 2 wins since 2016, right?
Well, there you go. And before that, 2012, he won the BMW International Open. And in 2015, he won the Omega European Masters.
Don't come for our texters. What's wrong with you, man?
I ain't coming for the texters.
I know, but
I'm informing myself live on the air about the legend.
You thought it was going to be some horrible stuff in there. You thought you would have 0 wins. Shout out to Danny Willett.
Danny Willett has himself
Masters
a little bit of a resume.
Danny.
Over his professional career, the English golfer has secured multiple other prestigious titles on the DP World Tour and PGA, in the PGA Tour. So this guy is a proven winner. He has won before, and his biggest claim to fame is that 2016 Masters. So shout out Danny Willett, who is making a great push for the Scottish Open. I am just new to his game. I was not familiar with your game, Danny Willett. I'm sorry I'm not familiar with your game, but good job to the Englishman. He's doing great. Currently 6 under par. T8 right now and is only looking to get better. He is done for the day. The people who are still on the course right now, Michael Thorbjornsen, Kurt Kitayama, Tom Kim is through 13 today. Rory is only through 9. He's 4 under on the day, which is really good. That means he has an entire back 9 to really, really get ahead. Let's see who else is still out there. I got to figure out how to say his name. I don't want to do him wrong because I was wrong about Danny Willett, but I got to figure out how to say this guy. Joost, Joost. How would you say that, Darian? Joost. How to? I got to know how to properly pronounce this guy.
Or kind of how Louis Oosthuizen is. I would go Joost, kind of like that.
Pronounce. Let's see. Yost. This Google
that has a T on the end, so yeah, I think that would be Yost.
Yeah, Yost.
Yost Luton
with the ooh sound. Yost. Well, we're learning a lot about you because you're T8 as well with the guy that won the Masters in 2016, Danny Willett. Did not know I'd be talking this much about Danny Willett this morning.
Yes, you did. This is what happened. I've been waiting for a moment to say this. This is what happened when Team USA loses. This is what happens.
We focus on golf.
Because if they had a match at 2 p.m., you'd be hyped. You'd have it on the Team USA jersey.
You better believe it. I absolutely would. That would be incredible right now. But
I looked up your pronouncer right quick. It says it rhymes with toast. His first name. So it's Yost. Luton, like shouting, but it's Loughton. Yost. We were all wrong.
Well, we were close enough.
His name is Toast. Like it sounds like Toast.
We're from America. He's from the Netherlands. All right. There's a bit of a language barrier there.
Joost Loughton. I like
Joost Loughton. He is T8. So look out for him as he is alongside a Masters champion.
And don't look up his career.
Don't look up his career. I'm not going to look up his career. Instead, what I'm going to do with the limited time that we have left before we shift conversation and talk with good old Andy Schiffman about the world of the NBA. And man, we have a lot to talk with Andy Schiffman about, especially my boy and where he's going to be going next. I figured because, and this is kind of breaking news for those of you who don't know, this is my last official day on the radio. So I figured this is the last time you'll probably ever talk about the Tennessee Titans unless they do great. Yes, I will be back. You will see me again. It's 10:30 in the morning. It's not been that long of a day. But it's not.
I've been waiting to do you like this song.
Just save it for the end of the show. We've still got a whole show to do. But I figured, Darren.
No, I want to make you cry throughout.
No. You ain't going to get no tears from this guy right here. At least not yet. But I figured what we'd do is because nobody else seems to have an affinity for the Titans at this station like I do, then you guys probably won't get to a place where you'll do W's and L for the Titans schedule. I figured, hey, let's go ahead and knock it out. Let's go through their schedule real quick and see where we have my boys landing on the year. So, game number 1 in Tennessee. This is the first time in about 4 years that the Tennessee Titans have opened at home with a home game, and they're going to be doing it against the New York Jets.
I'm not going to let you give me a pick until you give the kudos to you guys opening a new stadium. Can you say that first? Can you get the excitement behind the stadium?
It officially opens next year.
I thought it was this year.
2027 is the open.
Okay, so
day.
No excitement just yet. Okay,
yeah,
my bad.
Yeah, so still.
I thought you had one coming this year.
No, so they're putting the finalizing touches on it this year. It'll officially open and be ready to launch for next year, 2027.
New team, new coach, new quarterback, new stadium. Go for
it. Yeah, it'll be exciting. But game number 1 in the heart of Tennessee, you got the New York Jets coming to town. Give me a W for them to kick off that game.
What, against Geno? You're not afraid of Geno?
No, I'm not afraid of anyone.
Move on, as you should be. Correct.
I'm not afraid of anyone on the New York Jets. So right now we've got 1-0 starting off on the year. Then the Tennessee Titans host the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm giving them a loss there. I don't think they'll pull that
Titans
off. Yes.
I agree with you, but you want to catch the Philadelphia Eagles early because they're in turmoil. You know, I think later in the season they'll be humming. They got to find their way. A.J. Brown left, so hey.
Yeah, I think that if that's actually really difficult because of everything that I've seen of people who do the W's and L's for this game, everybody immediately says, "Oh, Eagles loss immediately."
I don't,
but I think the problem with the Titans last year was that they were not able to finish any games. They started out strong, they came out the gate well, but then they just couldn't finish. They could not finish any game, and I think that might come back to nip them in the butt here against the Eagles. So I give them a loss there. I did not time for this well because I have a lot I want to talk to Andy Schiffman about.
That's why I sat back. You won't get to it towards the end?
Yeah, but we got to talk to Jonah Dillon about a lot of Memphis Tigers stuff. Let's rapid fire. We won't go into depth. So we got a win at New York, loss at Philadelphia, then we go to the Giants. I'm giving them a win. Oh, you're not gonna. Okay,
I was letting you rapid fire.
No, okay, yeah, no, that's fair. Then they go to Baltimore. Sorry, you're not going to get one over Derrick Henry. Houston, I believe they split with all of their contenders this year. So for Houston, I'm giving them a win. At Indianapolis, I'm giving them a loss. Cleveland a win. Cincinnati a loss. Jacksonville a loss. Dallas a loss. Win over Jacksonville. Win over Washington. We're at 6-6 now. Loss at Detroit. Did I give them Indianapolis? I don't remember if I did or not. Let's just say they split. We're even. Vegas win. Pittsburgh loss at Houston. So what? 8-9 for the year? Dude, I would love that.
How many wins last year? 4?
3.
3? Okay.
And 3 the year before that. Yeah. Pretty bad. We can only go up. But anyways, we spent a little bit too much time on that. And we talked a lot about Danny Willett and Yost Lowton, or whatever his name is.
Yost like toast.
Yost like toast. I love it. All right, don't go anywhere. We're talking to Andy Schiffman on all things NBA. That comes your way next on Wolo and Friends.
Not only can you listen to your favorite shows on Sports 56, you can also watch video of the shows live on Twitter and YouTube. Watch and listen every day at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Chris Price here with Metro Builders Roofing and Restoration. We've seen days, even what seems like weeks of soaking rain, damaging hail, and even flooding. So today, do one simple thing. Look up. If you see a water stain, bubbling paint, or discoloration on your ceiling, don't ignore it. What starts as a small roof leak can quickly become mold, turning a minor problem into a major expense. At Metro Builders Memphis, our professionals will inspect your roof, assess any storm damage, help mitigate further damage. We'll measure your roof from outer space and guide you through the repair or replacement process with an estimate on site with multiple options at that. Don't let them tell you your roof needs to be replaced when all it may need is some love. We'll give you an honest assessment so you can make the right decision for your home and family. At Metro Builders Memphis, call me, 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717, or simply book your appointment online at metrobuildersmemphis.com.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Welcome back in, Friends. Landon Schmidt here as we have to shift our conversation to all things NBA. And Andy Schiffman, you know me better than most. And you know that my boy Jonas Valanciunas is my favorite basketball player by miles and miles and miles. And that there's nobody who has a better beard, nobody who has a style quite like the Lithuanian giant. And all week, and my boy Darian can attest to this, I have been just proclaiming to free Jonas from the captivity that is the Denver Nuggets.
And the very next day it happened.
And the very next day it occurred. It was a beautiful thing to behold. I was very happy to hear because, as you and I have talked about before, it was the strangest thing that I'd ever witnessed. You and I both agreed that when it came to the biggest problem the Nuggets had been facing is what do the Nuggets do when Jokic is off the court? How do they manage the game? Because Jokic would go out there, get a 10-point lead, come off the court, and then that lead would disappear. And then the other team would either close the gap or take the lead. And so bringing in a veteran like Jonas was to be able to manage that lead, manage that time while he was on the court. But then the Nuggets did something really, really strange. They decided to not utilize him. I believe in the playoff run that they had against the Timberwolves that Jonas played a total of like 6 minutes or something like that, which just made absolutely no sense to me. So I'll start with this. I'm happy that Jonas is free, but I'll ask you this. Where do you think, or first, what did you make of Jonas's time in Denver?
Well, first off, morning, Landon. I know it's your last show, so
that it is.
Try and make it my best for you, but I can't hold a candle to you.
It's always fantastic.
That's right. Yeah, look, I mean, I think it was an insurance policy, his time there in Denver, and we've talked about it last season. Why don't they utilize him more? Mm-hmm. You're absolutely right. I mean, he's 34 years old, but he can still give you something. He's an NBA veteran for a reason. And again, we're talking about a off the bench to spell Jokic role, not a 30-minute a night starting role. Yeah. So I don't know. We're not privy to what goes on in the Denver Nuggets organization, so I'm not sure what was going on, or maybe there was any sort of friction or something with the coaching staff. I just don't know. I do know that, obviously 34 years old in the world of the NBA is relatively kind of a little bit older, right? And so there are a couple of EuroLeague teams actually that have been trying to get Valanciunas, and there's one in particular in Lithuania that has an inside track. Obviously, Jonas is Lithuanian. Mm-hmm. Zalgiris, the EuroLeague team there, they're really hopeful that they have a shot to sign Valanciunas, and I think it has some legs because maybe he sees that as an opportunity to go back home and play in the final years of his career versus, look, if he does get a job right now in the NBA, it's going to be for a 14th or 15th spot more than likely, where he's probably not going to be playing much again. Mm-hmm. And for a guy like that that's made money throughout his NBA career, he probably wants to finish out playing. So not to burst your hopes and dreams for Jonas Valanciunas in the NBA next season, but do not be surprised if you do see him sign in Europe here in the next few weeks.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the biggest thing that I've wanted for Jonas, and I'm speaking like I know the guy. I don't know anything about him, but truthfully, I do want him to just be happy, And I think last year with him wanting to go back overseas and play in Greece, having that desire to want to play close to home, you being from Lithuania, I'm sure you've got family and all that over there, and then for him to honor the contract, honor the terms of the agreement to go to the Nuggets, and then just not be utilized, I just think was just a huge kind of backhand to him. And now, like you were saying, with the opportunity to go back and play, look, I've been telling everybody all week, I have every single jersey of every spot that Jonas has been at. So no matter where he goes, I'm adding another jersey to my collection. It's actually
I think you look for your retirement gift. They need to get you a one-way ticket over to Lithuania if he signs there. Then you can just stay with Valanciunas throughout the whole season.
I mean, I think so. I think I have convinced myself, Andy, that every time he comes to Memphis, I go to every single Grizzlies game that he is at. and I get an autograph from him after every single game, I'm convinced he knows who I am from Memphis. Like he has to.
You need to see him enough so you can kind of start that relationship here.
Oh, absolutely. I tell stories of the time in which he tossed, the Sharpie back to me after signing his Lithuanian jersey, and I referred it to as a father having a catch with his son or something like that. Just he and I go way back. It's a beautiful thing. But kind of back to where he's going. So say Jonas does have an opportunity to stay back over. I know there's a couple of teams, and there's a few fans in the comment sections of talking about Jonas Valanciunas and his future with the NBA. And now there are a few teams that could use a guy like Jonas. I think the Knicks have sparked interest in wanting to be him. Perhaps Wemby could use a backup. Could you see him landing somewhere like that with one of those teams here in the NBA still?
Well, a lot of it now, the way free agency is here in July 10th, it may as well be, October 10th as the market moves.
Yeah.
So, yes, possibly, but I know like a team like the Spurs, they're just not going to have a spot as of right now.
Mm-hmm.
The Knicks are probably very, very hesitant to add anyone at this point, with them being so close to the second apron, and their owner, after they won the championship, James Dolan, came out and said he does not want to spend into the punitive second apron where it costs the teams a lot more money than just what they're paying the players.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Knicks purposely, for that reason, let Mitchell Robinson go. And I think that they're probably all set with their roster. They might try and do some restructuring here and there with some of the core guys there who are coming up on extension eligibility windows. But look, the other thing that Valanciunas could do is he does have a great reputation just being serviceable in the NBA, even if he didn't really get to see it a lot in Denver. He could be one of these guys that if he doesn't end up in Europe, sits at home and waits, because inevitably as we get into the season, the first quarter of the season, you see it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
There are players being cut on non-guaranteed contracts, there are injuries, teams get off to slow starts, and they realize they got to bolster their front court. He could be a guy to get a call, and you've seen that time and time again. I do think it'll be tough right now to go out there and get a guaranteed contract for him at age 34, but there could be some more trades coming up in the NBA as the summer moves on. I don't necessarily think there'll be any more blockbuster trades. I think we've seen our fair share of those over the last few weeks.
Yeah.
But as trades happen, roster spots could be opening up.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. So wherever he goes, I'll be supporting him, and I'll be following closely, because you don't just get a beard like that. And
you need to send him a recording of today's show.
Oh, I will.
You absolutely should try and do that.
Yeah, I'm going to clip this and say, you remember me from Memphis? Well, guess what? I'm going to be moving 3 hours closer to wherever you are. So that's the goal here. Yeah. So going back real quick to just the Nuggets, it was the signing of Marvin Bagley III, where I kind of knew that was kind of going to be rolling the start of Jonas probably getting out of there at Denver. My original question was, I'm sure they're signing Marvin Bagley to serve as that backup role, but I guess I've shifted my question to, why sign Marvin Bagley for the Nuggets if there's going to be a hankering of the Nuggets doing the same thing of overplaying Jokic?
Well, the only thought is, look, he is 7 years younger, and I think that matters, especially if you're a coaching staff. You want to be able to rely on someone that you feel like can stay fresh and healthy throughout the whole season. Not necessarily that Jonas didn't really get to do that, because he really never got an opportunity to play much. But I think he's just sort of a different type of player. When he is fully healthy, he's very, very athletic. Bagley is just kind of a different look in their front court. It's just a very subjective decision. I wish I could tell you this is why they made that move or signed him. Obviously, too, I think his minimum is a little bit lower, at a lower number as well, which helps the Nuggets financially.
Yeah. I mean, it does make sense. I'm just going to be curious to see how they go forward and how they utilize him for that team as well. Kind of transitioning and knowing that the biggest name on the free agency market right now is LeBron James, as we're still awaiting word to see where he's going to go. But we do know that he has listed the Nuggets as a not potential landing spot, and he's only dwindled it down to, I believe, 5 or 6 teams. Where does Andy Schiffman believe LeBron will end up?
Well, I've heard everything from Cleveland to Miami still is in the mix. I've heard rumblings about Philadelphia. I personally think it's going to be Cleveland. Golden State, I think day one of free agency, I personally thought that was going to happen relatively quickly. I know the Warriors met with LeBron day one of free agency, but then he took his time and did what LeBron tends to do this time of year when he's a free agent and drag it out. Look, I don't think the guy will make a decision anytime soon. I think he loves the spotlight on him. He loves taking his time. He loves making people wait, which I personally kind of think is obnoxious. But, you know, like when you're LeBron James, you can do that, right?
Yeah, you can.
So, you know, if you were asking me today, I would still say Cleveland. But who's to say the guy won't wake up tomorrow and say, you know what, Charlotte seems pretty nice. They got a nice young core. Why don't I finish out there? It's whatever way the wind blows, right? But Cleveland, I think, is heavily in the mix. I know Cleveland has already engaged with other teams about trying to unload some of the other role players they have, some of whom are represented by us, to try and really create more flexibility for LeBron, whether it means to give him more money. Either way, he's taking a pay cut just given what teams have to spend now, or go out there and try and sign players that he wants to be surrounded with. And I'm not talking about getting rid of, like, oh, I don't want to play with Harden, I don't want to play with Donovan Mitchell, but just some of the back of the roster role players that he might want to really go out there and target to play with.
Yeah. If he goes back to Cleveland, do we see Bronny follow?
I don't think so. I really don't think
this is where
so.
the roads separate and Bronny finally does his own thing?
I just think, look, just as a father, and which I'm not a father, right? But if you're a dad, you should want your son to kind of have a bit of an independent path.
Oh, yeah.
Because clearly he knows the only reason he's in the NBA is because of his dad. The only team that was investing in him was the Lakers. The guy is not a rotational NBA player worthy of a guaranteed contract, in my opinion. Now, he's gotten better.
Yeah.
I think he's a very viable two-way player. But to go out there and get a guarantee over some of the veterans out there right now that don't have jobs, I think is obviously clearly a product of being LeBron's son. But now you talk about your dad switching teams and you're just going to follow him. If I'm LeBron, I'd say we're not doing that. Like, this is an opportunity for you to continue to grow and develop with the Lakers.
I agree.
They're not going to screw him over and cut him. I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
So I would hope that he just stays put.
Yeah, I hope so too. I completely agree with you there. Kind of moving to more local news. It seems like the Grizzlies have been doing a lot of more addition than they have subtraction, which they're going to have to do at some point here soon. But so far, when it comes to these Grizzlies additions, who on this squad and who's officially been signed are you most excited about seeing in a Grizzlies uniform?
Well, kind of pulling up their most recent roster because, as you said, they've made so many changes and moves. And I think for Grizzlies fans, like, you know, obviously you invested a top 3 pick in Cam Boozer. I think he's going to be a really good player and worthy of that pick. I really do think so. I think no matter what happens, you look up 4 or 5 years down the road, they made the right choice. Even if he doesn't turn into potentially like an NBA All-Star, and we all hope he does, there's no way you can turn down Cam Boozer when AJ and Darren Peterson are off the board, just given what you need as a team, right? I think that in terms of new players, right, like, I mean, I represent Richie Saunders, who won't see the floor the first half of the season coming off the ACL injury, but he's going to be great, I think, for the Grizzlies long term. And, you know, they made that trade where they were able to take on Isaiah Stewart to bolster their backcourt. He's a ball of energy, can be a bit of a hothead at times, but just like blue-collar, high motor, constant energy on the glass. I think he could be good. They obviously just acquired D'Angelo Russell, who we'll see how that pans out, what his role is going to be. You know, and then just kind of looking up and down their roster, I think in the Ja trade, he's a little bit older, but don't overwrite Jeremy Grant. Don't overlook Jeremy Grant. He's a guy that can go out there and give you 20 points a game. He's been doing it for the better part of his entire career.
Yeah.
And I think he could be a really, really nice piece. Quite honestly, no one's really talking about him. But I'm not sitting there saying that the talent they got for Ja is equal, getting our guy Chris Murray and Jeremy Grant. But Jeremy Grant is a good player. And so now you remove the distraction of Ja, right? Just from a culture standpoint, the locker room culture, that's a huge positive tick in that column, right? So you already improved your team in that regard. As much as I hate to say it. But then you go out and you get high character, high culture guys like a Jeremy Grant, who also can go out there and produce when he's healthy. Like I say, he's a little bit older, but, you know, again, I think that you'd like to think the Grizzlies should be better than last year. They just have a lot of new faces, right? So it's going to take some time, I think, for everyone to acclimate together. And to your point, too, Landon, they still need to somehow shed some contracts. So I'm not necessarily certain you'll see an A.J. Johnson there on opening night. Hopefully I'm wrong, but our guy Chris Murray on opening night. A guy like Javon Small, I think he's on a two-way. Maybe they converted him. I'm not sure. There's a lot of players that I think Grizzlies fans should not really get married to just yet. Who probably won't be there because they do need to trim down the roster to 15, no more than 15 by opening night.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll definitely keep our eyes glued to the screen on that and see just what's going on with this Grizzlies team. But regardless, it is a new era here in Memphis and a lot of new faces, a lot of new people to get behind. But I guess we'll just have to see when they start making cuts. But Andy, unfortunately, this will be the last time you and I will be talking on Memphis radio airwaves. Who's to say maybe our paths cross at some point near in the future, but it is always a pleasure to talk NBA with you. Like I tell you just about every week, I feel like we could talk the entire hour on the NBA and never get tired of it. But, man, I'm going to miss talking to you, and you have a great rest of your day. And unfortunately, I got to hand you back to Wolo next week, but it's always been fun, my man.
Likewise, Landon, best of luck to you, and maybe down the road we'll get you on a call with your guy George Niang as well.
Absolutely. I would love that. That would be incredible. But Andy, you have a blessed rest of the day, my friend.
All right, good luck. Thanks, Landon.
All right, thank you. That's our man, Andy Schiffman.
The look you gave me when he said George Niang, I will never forget. What is wrong with you?
I don't know. You'd have to analyze my brain for science after my passing, but that's going to be a while away because I've promised my beautiful girlfriend that I have to leave to at least 91. So I'm going to try to live up to that promise. So don't go anywhere because on the other side, we shift conversation one more time as I talk to my last guest on Memphis radio airwaves, Jonah Dillon, about the great stuff that's coming down the pike for Memphis football. That all comes your way next on Wolo and Friends.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
A long life is wonderful, but it comes with changes as you age. So when you're ready to change your home, Town Village Audubon Park is the perfect choice. Incredible location, amazing amenities, including a pool, all-inclusive dining, and on-site medical care so you can age in place. Monthly rental with no buy-in lets you make current choices. Apartments include full kitchen, washer and dryer, bi-weekly housekeeping, and all basic utilities. Landscape courtyards make it easy to get sunshine and fresh air. Gated parking keeps you ready to go. And the Town Village Dog Park keeps your fur baby close by your side. Hi, I'm Max. My wife Jean and I moved into Town Village Audubon Park 18 months ago. It's the best decision we ever made. We have made friends here and take part in lots of social activities. It's a comfortable life. So if you're thinking of making a change, come see me and Town Village Audubon Park. I think you'll like it as much as we do. And look, new friends.
In the U.S., there's a break-in every 26 seconds. But when intruders step near, Simply Safe Home Security steps up. Simply Safe's U.S.-based live agents identify threats, stopping the crime before it starts. Don't miss out on this exclusive 4th of July deal just for my listeners. You can get a massive 70% off your new system at simplysafe.com/Colin. 70% off your home security at simplysafe.com/Colin. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Hello, I'm Ford Canale of Canale Funeral Directors. For more than a century, the Canale family has been honored to serve Memphis families during life's most difficult moments. In fact, Canale Funeral Directors is proud to be the oldest continually operating business in Memphis, built on a tradition of compassion, dignity, and personal service. When a family places their trust in us, we understand it's about much more than arrangements. It's about celebrating a life, honoring cherished memories, and providing comfort when it's needed most. Whether you're planning ahead or facing an immediate need, our experienced and caring staff is here to guide you every step of the way. From our family to yours, thank you for allowing us to serve generations of Memphis families with the respect and attention they deserve. Canale Funeral Directors, quietly caring since 1843.
Memphis is a love song to soul and style. With the full suite of sought-after designers, brilliant natural diamonds, an elegant bar, luxury VIP lounge, and more, a trip to our store is an experience like no other. Just like the city we love. Stop by any of our stores or visit sissyslogcabin.com and experience Sissy's for yourself. Memphis is our home, and we're your jeweler.
Sissy's Log Cabin, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Welcome back in to Friends. The last time. Really loud song, Marion. Yeah, this is, we're going to right here in just a second shift our conversation to talk a little bit of Memphis Tiger football with the man, Jonah Dillon, as we've got some interesting news coming down the pike with everything going on in the world of Memphis sports. We've got the official comeback of the Pac-12, changing it from the Group of 5 landscape to now the Group of 6, and kind of looking forward as to what that means and what that looks like for the future of the college football playoff, what it means for that automatic bid for that Group of 6 format, and who better to talk about all of that than the man that covers your Memphis Tiger football team. That is Jonah Dillon. Jonah, it is always a pleasure to have you here on the show. So first question for you, Big 12 Media Days kind of kicked off what really propelled us into the beginning of the year for football, as you know, the media days start now, and then it just keeps ramping up until we finally get to the first weeks of college football, into week 0 and all of the things that follow. So first, let's start with the newly named Group of 6 and how the Pac-12 is now fully reformed. How does the forming of the Pac-12 change the landscape for the future of college football? Good morning to you.
Yeah, it's a huge difference. Obviously, a lot of the schools from the Mountain West going over to the Pac-12 now, and now there's 6 conferences at this level when there was 5 for the past couple seasons. And so it sets up a really interesting kind of look at the Pac-12 versus the American versus potentially the Mountain West of who is the strongest of these conferences. And look, if one team goes undefeated and nobody else does, and they beat a power conference team, then you're probably going to go to the playoff. But I think it could be really important strength of schedule-wise to see how these conferences match up with each other, because if we get to the end of the season, all these teams are competing for one playoff spot. If you have 3 conference champions who are all the same record, strength of schedule is going to be a huge thing, strength of opponents and all that. And so it really is interesting to see if the Pac-12, which has a lot of strong schools, only 8 schools. I think the American has a really strong group of probably 8 schools, but the schools at the bottom of the American are kind of weighing it down. And so obviously it depends on who you play and how you play them, but it's going to be interesting to see how that kind of plays out throughout the season.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad you mentioned the strength of schedule, because we're taking a look at Memphis's, and you've taken a look, obviously, at Memphis's schedule and how it's shaping up to be. How much of a factor do you think that the strength of schedule for the Tigers and how that is concerned comes into play when it comes to the end of the season and looking for potentially that playoff spot?
Yeah, Memphis is in a unique position because obviously the Tigers don't have that power conference opponent, which gives you a huge advantage. For example, Boise State is playing at Oregon, right? So no one's going to pick them to go win that game. But if they do, suddenly they have a thing on their resume that it seems like Memphis can't get because they don't have that type of opponent on their schedule. But because Memphis plays UNLV and Boise both on the road, those are huge opportunities not only to get quality wins, but to probably take out some of your competition for that playoff spot. It helps the American as well if Memphis wins those games. And so it's a really unique one of, yes, you don't have that power conference opponent, which gives you that opportunity, but you can really clear the deck for yourself conference and playoff wise if you can go win those 2 games on the road.
Yeah, absolutely. And kind of like what we've learned with the landscape of college football is over the past few years for that group of 12 or for that group of 5 spot going, having that 12 seed has usually gone to an American Conference team. Of course, we had the exception of James Madison coming out of what are they in? I believe the Conference US Sunbelt. That's right. But usually it's been dominated by the American Conference. And now with the formation of this Pac-12, you're kind of seeing how Boise State is always going to be that team in that conversation. And that really adds to the importance of that Boise State versus Memphis game, as you were talking about. And I believe you had an article where you were ranking Memphis's the importance of Memphis's games going on this year. Can you give us what your top 3 were and how important they are to Memphis coming into this year?
Yeah, so I had Boise State number 1, and I think when you look at kind of the landscape, really in the entire group of 6 like we've been talking about, that feels like a huge game for everybody. And it also feels like Boise State, because of their success over the past couple of years, is a team that went to the playoffs in 2024, and they're the same quarterback they had then. So there's a lot of continuity there, same coach. Those things are really important at this level. And so I think that's going to be, obviously, for Boise State, that's their home opener. They go to Oregon week 1, and they come back, and they've done renovations to their stadium. I heard they redid their blue turf, so it's going to be sparkly. Like, it's probably going to be a sellout. So that's going to be a real difficult environment for Memphis. Yeah. And honestly, the Tigers haven't faced that kind of an environment over the past couple of years, right? Like a real team that has that kind of a home field advantage. Then I got UNLV and Navy after that, and I think South Florida, Tulane. All those games are kind of in there because they're all going to be tough, and Memphis' toughest conference games are on the road.
Yeah. I mean, I think if anything, that goes to prove how tough and how important the road matchups for the Tigers are this year. And yeah, it's going to be a difficult road to hoe for the Memphis Tigers, especially for newly named head coach Charles Huff. So circling back to the American, just kind of final thing for you, because we really just never really have enough time to really go into depth about all this kind of stuff. And I take full responsibility for that. I talk way too much. I talk way too much about all this kind of stuff. But who do you have predicting to win the American this year?
Okay, so I'm saving my predictions after media days. That's what I've been telling everybody.
Okay. Yeah,
that's good. I think there's a lot of teams in the mix, so I need some research, and I'll get it figured out for you soon.
Well, perfect. Well, unfortunately, I won't be here for that, but I will 100% be tuning in to kind of find out that answer, and I'll be following closely because Memphis is always going to be my first love, man. It's always going to be the team I'm going to be focusing in on, them and Hawaii. I love both of those teams, which is I know kind of a shock for you, but Jonah, unfortunately, man, it's already 11 o'clock. I just wish I was better at time management. Maybe one day I'll learn about it, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But Jonah, it has always been a pleasure to talk with you, talk football. Darian is playing a really sad song right now, so I guess I got to say my goodbyes. But it's always been a pleasure talking with you, my friend. And unfortunately, we'll be handing you back to Wolo next week. But I'll always remember talking with you, my brother.
I'm honored to be your last guest. I know you're a wrestling fan, so this is like your retirement match. I'm sorry. I love you.
Yeah. I'll take that sweet chin music. I'll take it, my brother. Well, anyways, man, you have a good one. Have a blessed rest of your day. Have a blessed rest of the year, and continue knocking them dead on the commercial appeal, dude. You have a good one.
You as well.
All right, man. That is our guy, Jonah Dillon. And that's officially going to do it for me here. There's just too many people that I'd like to give shout-outs to. There's too many people that I'd like to say thank you to. So I'll just say, John, thank you so much for, giving me this opportunity. Woo. I promised myself I wouldn't do this. Giving myself the opportunity to come on this platform and be able to talk sports and kind of share my opinion and just have a lot of laughs and have a great time. It has meant the world to me. Thank you to Darian, Jaham, Wolo, Brett, Brian, just everybody who's been in my corner this entire time. I want to give a special shout out to my beautiful girlfriend, Ellie. I do this all with you always in the forefront of my mind, and I love you dearly. And I love everybody who's always been here. Jared, John, you guys mean the world to me, and I can't do this without you. So I love you all. It has been an absolute pleasure. And as always, my friends, if you don't remember anything else, remember this, that it is always going to be a great day.
That bond will never be broken. The love will never get lost. And when brotherhood comes first.
Expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup.